the second edition of your Good Morning Zimbabwe. Now, as we move forward with our bulletin, the government has embarked on a number of programs to empower the youth in the country. Now, to help us unpack some of the developments and challenges as well in the youth sector, we have invited in studio Dr. Kudzanai Vere. He is the CEO of the Institute of Entrepreneurs Zimbabwe. He is also the regional director for the Center for Business and Entrepreneurship Development. Dr. Vere, welcome to Good Morning Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much, Malvin.
So it's a very topical issue that we're going to be discussing right now. And it's a good thing that you're here to help us unpack this. Can you please tell us what are the key challenges which are facing young people, particularly in Zimbabwe today?
No, thank you so much for that powerful question. Yeah. You know, our youth are facing numerous challenges, so to speak. Ideally, most of these are coming from, the first one is failure to really recognize and appreciate the natural endowments that our beloved country have, Zimbabwe. The second aspect is the appreciation can also come from having gone through quality education and mentorship. I've heard Professor Murgira recently, I think at some Africa Day commemoration, talking about Education 5.0 and the beauty of it to be in a transformative manner, industrialization being the center of Education 5.0. Because of late, our youths have been passing through the education system and coming out raw. What do I mean? We were having people who were just writing academic documents that will be pegged in school libraries and universities, which were not actioned upon in a transformative manner to generate sustainable businesses. So the issue of quality education, which is auguring well also with SDG number 4, which talks about quality education. And quality education, like Professor Murira said, is not being able to speak a foreign language or speaking English. That is not quality education. It's far from what we expect. We expect our youths to be able to use the endowments that they have, the talents that they have, the knowledge that they would have amassed, obviously through their education system, to start their own businesses rather than getting out equipped with skills of writing good CVs to look for employment.
So from what you've been saying so far, I have picked that the Education 5.0 model is a tool on its own which is being used by government to empower the youths.
100%.
But what else now can we use to empower the youths to make sure that empowerment is very visible?
Thank you so much. I was on my second point on the challenges anyway.
Yes.
We can only talk of the tools that you can use after having fully identified the challenges.
Yes.
The other challenge is, our youths, it's exposure. We really need quality coaching and mentorship that goes through our youth in order for them to come out as smart as we expect them to be. You had asked about the types of tools that you can use. Number one, that coaching and mentorship is the first one. The second aspect also feeding into the recent developments in our country of the Chitepo School of Ideology. It's a step in the right direction because it's almost taking a departure from the recent institution that was there where youths were only taught about our history and other stuff. I'm to believe that this School of Ideology is meant to develop a holistic youth, a youth who doesn't only know the history in as much as the history is good. We feed on what the future brings in, whose future now is marred with these challenges I've spoken about. And yet we have the resources that when these youths are then empowered, we are advocating that there must be an entrepreneurship program, so to speak, at the School of Ideology, whereby when they are done with learning from that institution, they are equipped with practical skills to go and transform the spaces that they occupy.
Okay, so from what I've picked so far, government is doing something to make sure that the youths in our society are empowered. I've also picked you talking about maybe civil society organizations, some, and also private sectors can also do a part in making sure that the youths are also empowered. So now, how can these three sectors work hand in hand to make sure that we help the youth out there?
No, brilliant. Coming from Institute of Entrepreneurs Zimbabwe and being the regional director for Center for Business and Entrepreneurship Development, we also, this is private sector, so to speak. We have a lot of work that we are doing in collaboration with the government, especially Ministry of Youth. And for your information, we have an MOU pending signature with the Ministry of Youth, whereby we are going to be training Zimbabwean youths in all the 10 provinces, empowering them with practical entrepreneurship skills that they will then use, obviously, to start, support, sustain, and succeed in the entrepreneurship endeavors. And as well, the government is joining hands with, obviously, well-minded non-governmental organizations like the USAID, and we do have also National Association of Youth Organizations, which we also signed an MOU with, where we are working towards training and capacitating over 2,400 youths in 3 districts, that is Mutasa, Goromonzi, and Tungwiza, taking them through all the value chain aspect, taking them through the necessary step that they need to know in order for them to start their own businesses, and linking them up also with financiers. We are also working with almost all the banks in Zimbabwe.
Amazing.
Once we capacitate youth with practical entrepreneurship skills, they start their own businesses. They would also need resources. So banks now would also want to work with us in a very big way, because we would have propagated a fail-proof entrepreneur who is relied upon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Vere, for coming through to Good Morning Zimbabwe. It's only that we have a very limited time, but I can see that we can continue to talk about this on, and I'm sure that the producers will invite you as well, maybe next week, to make sure that we talk more on this issue. But thank you so much for coming through to Good Morning Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much.
Well, as we move forward now with our bulletin, we take a look at our arts and entertainment sector. And the major story that we're going to be taking a look at today is that tugged at the very end of Gwanda South between Zimbabwe and Botswana, Kafusi area has become